Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Welcome to the Voorhees Township Committee meeting of May 28, 2019. Please rise and join me in the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Freeman.
Here.
Mr. Platt.
Here.
Mr. Ravitz.
Here.
Mrs. Cito. Here. Mayor Minota.
Here.
This meeting is being held in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act. Due notice that this meeting has been published by the clerk in both the Courier Post and Inquirer newspapers. Also, a copy of the annual meeting notice has been posted on the bulletin board outside Township Clerk's office. I'm obligated under state law to advise you that there is no smoking in this public building. Please take notice of the emergency exits to the rear of the room, and also there are exits behind Township Committee on either side. You should be aware that this meeting is being videotaped and will be shown on local public access channels at a later date. The Township of Voorhees highly values the input of citizens in making important decisions that affect the residents of our community. We also believe in the rights of citizens to observe Township Committee meetings. To ensure that all of our citizens have the opportunity to attend committee meetings and offer comment, and to ensure that the governing body can conduct the important business of the Township, we ask that the speakers follow these guidelines for making public comments. 1. The mayor or deputy mayor will recognize those individuals in the audience who wish to make comment. All members of the public attending Township Committee meetings must treat each other and the mayor and Township Committee with respect. State your full name and address for the record. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes. If you have a question that we are unable to answer at the meeting, feel free to submit your questions to the Township Clerk or Township Administrator in writing and include your name, address, telephone number where you can be contacted. Your questions will be answered within a reasonable time. And finally, individuals offering comments are not permitted to make personal attacks on any employee, the mayor, or any member of Township Committee, other testifiers, or members of the public.
Thank you. Our first matter this evening is the second reading of a bond ordinance authorizing the completion of various road and related improvements in the Township of Voorhees, County of Camden, New Jersey, appropriating the sum of $1,500,000 therefore, authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds or bond anticipation notes of the Township of Voorhees, County of Camden, New Jersey, in the aggregate principal amount of up to $1,425,000, making certain determinations and covenants, and authorizing certain related actions in connection with the foregoing. This is the second reading of an ordinance. I will open it up to the public. If there's any public comment on this ordinance, please come forward.
Seeing no one from the public, move to close public portion.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The public portion of that ordinance is closed. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Freeman.
Yes.
Mr. Platt.
Yes.
Mr. Ravitz.
Yes.
Mrs. Cito. Yes. Mayor Minota.
Yes, so carried. Our next matter is the second reading of a bond ordinance authorizing the acquisition of sewer utility equipment and improvements to the sewer utility system in and for the Township of Voorhees, County of Camden, New Jersey, appropriating the sum of $2,380,000 therefore, authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds or bond anticipation notes of the Township of Voorhees, County of Camden, New Jersey, in the aggregate principal amount of up to $2,261,000, making certain determinations and covenants, and authorizing certain related actions in connection with the foregoing. This, again, is the second reading of an ordinance. I will open up to the public. Any public comment, please come forward.
Seeing no one from the public, move to close public portion.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The public portion is closed. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Freeman.
Yes.
Mr. Platt.
Yes.
Mr. Ravitz.
Yes.
Mrs. Cito. Yes. Mayor Minota.
Yes, so carried. The next matter is the second reading of a bond ordinance providing funding for the acquisition and installation of traffic signalization in and for the Township of Voorhees, County of Camden, New Jersey, appropriating the sum of $190,000 therefore, authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds or bond anticipation notes of the Township of Voorhees, County of Camden, New Jersey, in the aggregate principal amount of up to $180,500, making certain determinations and covenants, and authorizing certain related actions in connection with the foregoing. This again is the second reading of an ordinance. I will open it up to the public for any comment.
Seeing no one from the public, move to close public portion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public portion for that is closed. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Freeman.
Yes.
Mr. Platt.
Yes.
Mr. Ravitz.
Yes.
Mrs. Cito. Yes. Mayor Minota.
Yes, so carried. The next matter is the second reading of a bond ordinance authorizing the acquisition of vehicles and equipment for the Township of Voorhees, County of Camden, New Jersey, appropriating the sum of $1,981,000 therefore, authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds or bond anticipation notes of the Township of Voorhees, County of Camden, New Jersey, in the aggregate principal amount of up to $1,881,950, making certain determinations and covenants, and authorizing certain related actions in connection with the foregoing. Again, this is the second reading of an ordinance. I will open up to the public for any comment.
Seeing no one from the public, move to close public portion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The public portion of that is closed. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Friedman?
Yes.
Mr. Platt?
Yes.
Mr. Ravitch?
Yes.
Ms. Nocito?
Yes.
Mayor Minota?
Yes, so carried. The next is the second reading of a bond ordinance authorizing the completion of improvements to various buildings and grounds, appropriating the sum of $1,287,000 therefore, authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds or bond anticipation notes of the Township of Voorhees, County of Camden, New Jersey, in the aggregate principal amount of up to $1,222,650, making certain determinations and covenants, and authorizing certain related actions in connection with the foregoing. This is also the second reading of an ordinance. I will open up to the public for any comment.
Seeing no one from the public, move to close public portion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The public portion is closed. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none of those in favor, hearing none, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Friedman?
Yes.
Mr. Platt?
Yes.
Mr. Ravitch?
Yep.
Ms. Nocito?
Yes.
Mayor Minota?
Yes, so carried. Next is the public comment for our resolutions this evening. Anyone has any comment on any of our resolutions, please come forward.
Seeing no one from the public, move to close public portion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The public portion for resolutions is closed. Our resolutions this evening are number 135-19, memorializing an executive session from the meeting of May 20th, 2019. Resolution number 136-19 from our tax collector. Resolution number 137-19, approving a tax repayment plan for Block 14, Lot 13. Resolution number 138-19, approving a tax repayment plan for Block 213.01, Lot 2. Resolution number 139-19 from our tax assessor. Resolution number 140-19, authorizing the use of FY 2018 NJDOT Municipal Aid Echelon Road Resurfacing Project, Phase 3, FY 2019 NJDOT Municipal Aid Kirkbride Road Resurfacing Project, and FY 2019 NJDOT Bikeway Lions Lake Bike Path Extension Project under a single construction contract identified as the 2019 Voorhees Township Road Improvement Program. Next is resolution number 141-19, reconfirming the dedicated tax rate for the Municipal Open Space, Recreation, Farmland, and Historic Preservation Trust Fund for tax billing purposes. Resolution number 142-19, approving the list of volunteer members who've qualified for credit under the LoSAP Length of Service Award Program for 2018. Resolution number 143-19, accepting the resignation of Gloria Lauren as an emergency medical technician in the Township of Voorhees. Resolution number 144-19, appointing Matthew Ober to the part-time position of Clerk 1. Resolution number 145-19, authorizing the publication of a notice of intent to award a contract under a New Jersey cooperative pricing agreement for police sport utility vehicles. And resolution number 146-19, renewing liquor licenses for 2019-2020. Do I have a motion for those resolutions?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none of those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. There's no need for an executive session this evening. Next is approval of the registrar's report for April 2019 and our bills list for May 28th, 2019. Do I have a motion for approval of those?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I'm just going to abstain from bill number 18223 for University of Pennsylvania. I just didn't get a response as to what it was for. I'm good with all the rest, though.
Mike, it was for the neutering of one of the police
canines.
To what?
It was neutering for one of the police
Oh,
canines.
neutering, okay. I'm in favor then. Favor of neutering.
Yes.
All good.
He's lost his person.
Hearing no other comment, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So carried. Next is comments from our committee. Any comments from our committee this evening? Our final portion is our public portion. Anyone from the public have any comments this evening? Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Council.
How are you? We have any-
Paul, sorry.
Okay.
Paul Chenier, and I live over Mount Laurel. Every time I come here, I take a couple of minutes to walk down this hallway. And as a veteran, I just want to tell you all thank you. That's a great looking hallway. So for my little part, I have a new hobby now. I've made a wind flag for you. And I'd be honored if you hang it there in the hallway.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. If you can stay for a bit when the meeting's over, we'd like to get a picture with you
Sure,
with that.
absolutely.
Thank you very much, Paul. It's very nice of you.
Thank you, Paul. Honored to hang that.
Any other public comment this evening? Well,
Sweet.
good evening.
Hi, Sarah Beth Gibbs. I live at 58 Acadia Drive. I had a few questions. I guess my first question was, are we working to do anything about the break-ins at the Conley Park? I don't know if that is related to township or if that is a police thing or how.
Well, it's both. The
Go
township
about-
owns the park, and obviously the police, I know, you want to take that, Chief? I know that there's some communication with you.
So we work diligently. We're aware of some of the issues out there. Those break-ins take literally less than 2 minutes, so the window to catch someone is very small. Without getting into the intricate details of our plans and what we do to try and protect the vehicles and the people that are out there, I can tell you we've been aware of it for a very long time. It hasn't happened for a long time, but I can tell you it's happening all over New Jersey. It's not localized just to Voorhees.
I know, and it seems as when you guys have your camera thing up there, it seems to do better. Same as with the fitness center. There aren't break-ins when you guys have your camera. But once the camera goes away, then
There actually has been a break-in with the cameras up.
Really?
So there has, so it's not the only thing we're doing, trust me.
okay.
Again, without getting into every intricate detail that we're doing, we're very much aware of it. We would love to catch them. I have a large group of officers that would like nothing better than to catch people doing that. So it's on our radar, and we're working on it, but it's very, very difficult. Yeah, it's very difficult to catch someone doing it, and we can't really do it without the public's help. That's why we continue to put out public service announcements about keeping your valuables not in sight in the vehicle. If we take away the opportunity for the people that like to do that stuff, then with having no valuables there, that helps us a great deal. So.
I was reviewing the minutes from the meeting, especially the one on January 7th, and someone mentioned at that time they were questioning why the policy regarding tuition reimbursement hadn't been addressed. And Mayor, you said that it was going to be addressed early in 2019.
Yeah, we've addressed it. We actually have a policy for that. We do. And we've had a policy for it. And you want to lay it out?
No problem. So each committee member gets $3,000 for ordinary expenses. Anything above and beyond that, such as tuition reimbursement, would get approved by the township administrator, and then it would come before township committee, who would then take a vote on the matter to approve. So that policy has been in place for quite some time now. We actually updated it a couple years back based upon Deputy Mayor Nocito's recommendation that if any employee, which committee members would
Is
be
that
approved.
in the minutes too? That it
Well, we-
has come up and people have voted on it?
I'm
I've been
unsure.
going back. I'm just trying to catch up.
It would have been, yeah, it would have, whenever the, that resolution, or the, would have been put on a bill list, and then it would have been approved whenever that happened. So any approval that would have gone above that $3,000 would have been voted on by township committee, yes.
Okay. I wonder if that is, I guess I wonder, I might have made a request already about getting
No
all of that
request.
written up, yeah. So I guess I'll just wait until I can look at all that.
Right, I just received that today.
Mhm.
7 day.
I appreciate that, thank you. it just seems like a very large, I pay my own tuition. I don't have anyone to pay it for me. So, I feel like $3,000 seems fairly sufficient, and I wonder if there is maybe a way to adjust
The
having
3,000,
tuition paid.
the money that, if you're referring to Deputy Mayor Nacita's, let's just cut to the chase. The education payment, which was approved and was on the bill list and was unanimously voted for, that was not for her graduate degree, in her defense.
Okay.
Like is being promulgated all over Facebook by Committeeman Friedman's post from last week. And the thread, she had her MBA and she took government courses on how to be better at government, which I think we all would agree, a lot of people in this country would be better off taking, and maybe things would get done. So, if we want to make
When
this.
I'm looking through the minutes, where would I look for
May-
that? How would I read that?
So do you mind, I'll respond if that's okay. So, hi, anyway, we haven't met. So, on May 29th, if you look at the bill list for last year,
Okay.
it was approved by all members of committee. We vote on the bill list much like we did tonight. Everyone has the opportunity to vote yes, or they have the opportunity to abstain if they have a question. Every single person up here voted yes to that. And just, like Jason said, let's just cut to the chase, because I appreciate that you're here and asking questions as a resident. I encourage everyone to do that. And I think it's great that you're taking time out of your night during a tornado warning to come here and ask those questions. So thank you, seriously. But, and this will be, for you and also for Committeeman Friedman, just to address his Facebook message. So that was sent to me by someone else. When I was elected to Township Committee, I sat down with Committeeman Friedman. We had a breakfast together, and I told him at that time that if he ever wanted to work together, that he should come to me. And I was genuinely interested in working together with him. For more than 3 years, we sat next to each other in work sessions and in our caucus that we have before this. And not once has he asked me to work on any project together. And instead, he votes yes to something on a bill list, approves that as an expense, and then writes a Facebook rant about it. So I'm confused about what his intention is for doing that, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
I can clarify, and I don't mean to interrupt.
I'm sorry, could I finish?
Yeah, when you're done, I'll
Thank you.
clarify.
So to answer your question regarding the CPM class, I already had my graduate degree prior to ever being elected to Township Committee.
I did see that.
And I did not have anyone pay my tuition either. Much like you, I paid my own tuition for college, for my undergraduate degree and for my MBA. Since joining committee, I've taken other classes at Rutgers Center for Government Service that the township has not paid for, so that I can be better at governing. So it's a budgeted line item that has been in the budget for years. It's been in the budget as long as Committeeman Freeman has been on committee. And when I approached the township manager inquiring about taking the class, because as the director of public safety, the chief of police and the deputy chief has also taken the class, I was told, yes, we actually have a budget for elected officials to take classes so that they can become better elected officials. If you would like to do that, we can proceed with that.
So that was supposed to come out of a separate budgeting area?
It did.
It did.
It did come out of what it is budgeted for. It wasn't something that was in addition to, it was something that has always been in the budget. I just happened to be the first person who decided, elected official, I guess, that they were going to, that I was told that this was available for elected officials, because when you elect us, a lot of us are from the private sector. We don't have governmental experience. And anyone who knows me will tell you that I am a person of integrity, and I do everything I can to get better for the people that I serve in this township. And a lot of people want to say that I'm a quarter-time elected official, but I'm not. Hardly any of us up here are quarter-time elected officials. We spend a lot of time in this township, and people can paint us as quarter-time, but they don't really know how much time we spend. Maybe you see us here at these meetings, and I understand it's easy to assume, and that's why I got involved in the township, so that I could find more about the budget process, where my taxes were going, what was happening. And I can tell you that although we are all very interested, we're not professional government. We're not professional, in governing. So having the opportunity to go and take a course for 1 year that I went to every Wednesday on my own time, that I took off from work for my business from 8 to 4 that I went to, dropped my kids off early, did whatever I could to hustle, take the class, come home, do the project, work for an entire year to do that so that I could be a better politician, a better governor, a better at government for the people of Voorhees and the people that elected me, it's not something that I'm going to allow Committeeman Freeman to shame me for. And I just don't think that that's something that, you know, I would want someone else. I think that, you know, and to continue to allow him to lead and orchestrate some mudslinging is not in alignment with who I am as a person. And again, I'm a person of integrity. I took a class, it is not a graduate. He likes to paint it like it's graduate tuition. I already have my graduate degree. I would never ask the township to pay for my graduate degree. But the township has a budget for us to become better elected officials. And I knocked on countless doors during the campaign when my face was going around on flyers accusing me of that, where people said, I'm glad you're doing that because we want people who are knowledgeable and take the time to make the right decisions for us and take the time to educate themselves.
So May 29th? that's
I'd
where it is.
like to just jump in real quick and clarify some things. I respect Deputy Mayor Nacito's passion and her yearning to learn, and all that stuff is great. My statement was out of frustration as a taxpayer. I'm not running for re-election this year. My frustration stems from the fact that our residents are paying way too much in taxes. They're fleeing New Jersey, they're fleeing Camden County, they're fleeing Voorhees. And one of those reasons is that they're sick and tired of government officials taking advantage of what's there. And can they do it? Yes. There's a policy that does allow you to get these education and expense reimbursements and hotels and what have you. The fact that you can do it doesn't mean that you should do it. I think we're playing with, I think we're deflecting a bit and playing with some semantics. Whether it's a graduate degree or this or that, it's a valuable degree. Otherwise, nobody would go for it. There's a lot of folks that take that course that then move on to advanced positions in government, and they do very well with that advanced degree, certificate, whatever you want to call it. And whether they're business administrators or what have you, it inures to their benefit. So that's one of the issues that I have with that. I agree with you. Is it Sarah Beth? Sarah Beth, I agree with you that $3,000 is pretty good. That's a pretty sufficient amount for expenses. If you want to take classes, if you need to go to a conference and stay at a hotel, $3,000 is a pretty darn good start. So when we talk about the money expended for this certificate or what have you, that was on top of the $3,000.
What hotels are you talking about?
What hotels am I talking about?
Yes.
I'm saying that there's been hotels in the past.
What
and there's hotels in the future.
Who spent any?
Can I just finish? Let me finish.
You're going on social media accusing people
I don't
personally.
really want to be involved in this.
All right,
This is not what I wanted, thank you.
Okay, have we answered, do you have another question, or?
So I guess because I'm playing catch up, this is my first time doing all of this. I struggle with understanding a lot of what you guys were saying when you were going through the meetings and ordinances, all of that stuff. It happened very quickly. Is there a place where that is explained in more detail that it isn't?
Not to be funny, but in the course that I took, that's a lot of the stuff that we went over. But yes, on the township website, we do have resources for, you can go back, you can look at the past agendas, you can look at the information. And then, Chris, what would you recommend for, the average resident who cannot be at every meeting that wants to get more education?
I've read that stuff, and it's like,
Actually,
I agree.
Mr. Spellman, who is our administrator, has offered in the past and would offer to meet with you at any time you want to talk about anything on our agendas.
I'd appreciate that.
Procedures, yeah, please.
And explaining the budget breakdown and,
Yeah. Okay, educated residents. It's not as easy as it looks.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment this evening?
Well, I'd like to follow up.
I'm sorry,
I'm not going to make you sit there, Sarah Beth, but I'd like to follow up just to a couple of things. I allowed Mr. Cito to finish. There was a comment that the bill list was the mechanism to approve these expenses, and you're correct. The bill list is a mechanism to approve such expenses. It's not brought separately to a vote in the work session. It's not brought separately alone in a vote here. If you really wanted to be upfront with us or with me, you could say, Mike, look, I'm going to take this course. Nobody that I can remember has taken one of these courses on township committee. I don't. In the 10 years I've been here, 9 years I've been here, I don't remember anyone spending money like that. So you could say, look, here's something I'm going to do. Are you okay with this? whether I was or not, at least it would have been out there for discussion. The bill list, there's sometimes 50 to 100 items. I'm not making an excuse, but yes, sometimes there are things that you miss in there. Absolutely. I'm sure every one of us is guilty about certain things that you miss in that bill list. And Larry will tell you that I've been on him for the last 7 or 8 months because of this issue, asking about every little item. You saw me tonight asking what this, the neutering thing was at UPenn. So to say that, with full knowledge, we all voted is just not accurate. So, and to compare ourselves to full-time officials such as police officers and stuff who take these classes, it's just not a fair comparison. They're not similarly situated employees to government employees, to elected officials who don't work the hours that they work. We all do work hard. We expend ourselves. We answer emails, phone calls of our residents. We do put a lot of effort and time into it, but you can't compare yourself to our full-time employees who take those classes. And very last. It's not an effort to mudsling. This is an effort to simply stop the expenses at $3,000. I think that's a very, very fair amount for a township. We're not a Fortune 500 company. We're funded by taxpayer funds. I think that's more than enough. And there's other classes that you can take for free. And you said, I think maybe you've done some of that.
No, I've taken other classes and paid for them.
Oh, great.
And so the only question that I have, this isn't about, and I don't think we're debating right now that, but the question is, first of all, if it's pretty significant expense, how did you miss it on the bill list? And second of all, why didn't you ever come to me? You sit right next to me. You have my cell phone number. If you had an issue with it when you found out about it, why didn't you come and talk to me like just how you said I should have came to you? Why wouldn't you talk to me about it? Why would you have never, Mike, have you ever come to me and said, Michelle, I'm concerned about this, please explain to me?
To me, this is a massive deflection.
Can you,
it's an absolute deflection of the issue.
Can you answer the question?
No, I'm not going to answer the question.
You're not.
You're deflecting from the issue.
Have you ever come to me?
You're trying to deflect the issue and put the blame on me. And put the blame on me when you were the one that incurred that expense. And that's really what that is about. It's simply deflecting.
Well, Mike, why was this you've been on township committee for almost a
9
decade?
years. Yep.
Almost a decade. And this suddenly becomes a problem on your way out?
Jason, nobody else had ever done this.
Because no one else took the initiative to do it. You said in the 10 years that you were here, I was here for 2 years, and much like our resident, wanted to understand more about the process. And you're absolutely right. We cannot compare ourselves to police officers because we're not here full time to gain the everyday knowledge and understanding. So we have to do what we can as elected officials to play catch up and to acquire as much information as we can for the residents.
And you can absolutely do that. And when I got here, one of the first things they said was Bowman and Company has this.
And I went to that as well.
Bowman does it every year. There's other professionals that do very similar classes. And again, I think that the $3,000 is plenty to do all that stuff. If you want to do above and beyond, that should be on your own dime. That's my opinion, and quite frankly, that's the opinion of a lot of folks. And maybe people have the other opinion as well.
They do.
What?
More disappointing though is that you will not have a civil discussion with me to my face. You sit right next to me. Just talk. You know me. I've sat with you before. I've seen you in the community. Like, just talk to me. We're both neighbors. Our kids are in the same grade. I don't understand.
Would it have changed anything, Michelle?
Possibly. I came to you in the beginning and said to you, Mike, have a conversation with me. But when you present it as a Facebook rant and it feels like a political attack, and you wait for it to get on a flyer before you bring it up, that is not. We are professional colleagues here. Come to me and have a conversation with me. That's what I'm asking you. Don't put it up on Facebook.
I absolutely will. Our residents absolutely deserve to know what is going on here. It's all about transparency. They deserve to darn well know what is going on here.
I absolutely agree with that.
Absolutely.
But your comments to me, you can put it on Facebook, but have a conversation with me. Have some dialogue around it. Work together to make the change that you want to make. Don't just put it out there as trying to shame me for something.
I'm not trying to shame you. We proposed an ordinance. It was shot down before I could even get to the meeting, sprinting home from Philadelphia, or sprinting here from Philadelphia from my office. And
guess what? I
it was shot down.
wasn't here yet either.
Michelle wasn't there.
I wasn't even here yet either.
I'm not saying she was there, but it was shot down. It was shot down without me even being there.
And making false allegations about people getting hotel rooms paid for is unfair, and you're attacking the integrity.
Read it again.
I have it right here.
This thing allows for the potential for that.
I have it right here. I have it right here, and words do matter. While this is already very generous, committee members may still receive reimbursement for additional, in caps, expenses in quotes, which insinuates impropriety, which they can submit for, which can consist of hotel stays, conference fees, and as has occurred the past 2 years, thousands of dollars to pay for one's graduate education, which that's not factual, the graduate. I don't know what,
You're paying
Read
for
that
me-
again. You
Thousands
read that
of
again.
dollars?
That says potential for absolutely.
You're-
Absolutely. If you don't have an ordinance on the issue, Jason, anything can be abused. Who's to stop? Nobody. Once I'm gone,
Why did it-
nobody's going to stop
Mike,
any expenses from being
Mike,
reimbursed.
why did it take you 9 years to propose it?
I
then?
just told you why. No one
Because-
has ever done this before.
Well, what about the
No
hotel
one had-
stays?
No one had.
What-
the-
Mike,
had-
what about the
had
hotel
dollars
stays?
to do that? Nobody had done that.
All right,
What I'm saying is, those are all things that could easily be reimbursed for. Are you kidding me? Easily.
we
And,
have,
and who's the gatekeeper for that?
we are. We have a policy.
Okay, so it's like the fox watching the hen house.
Well, Mike, we've been elected to make decisions. 2 weeks ago, we adopted a $40 million budget. We are the people that were elected to make these decisions. So
Understood.
if expenses by police officers or committee people or whatever are proposed, then it's our job to decide whether they're appropriate or not. And that's and that's just the policy that we have, and it's a fair policy because we are the gatekeepers, as you say.
Understood.
And I've been on committee for 17 years. I've never expensed the hotel room. I'm not sure what the hotel analogy is. I don't know that anybody else sitting up here, including yourself, has expensed a hotel room, but we do have a right to be reimbursed by legitimate expenses. And if those expenses happen to go above $3,000 and they can be documented appropriately, then Larry, who is the initial gatekeeper, and this committee, will vote as to whether they're appropriate.
Right, and the problem, and Mike, I appreciate your comments, but the problem is there's an inequality of power with Larry. Larry's going to have to talk to people who hold his job in their hands. That's why I introduced a simple ordinance, and I think it's reasonable. We happen to have a disagreement, a fundamental disagreement on this issue. You all chose not to proceed with the ordinance, and that's fine. That's your decision. Myself as a taxpayer and somebody seeing into the future who wants to prevent any of these things in the future, I propose this ordinance. A lot of people are in favor of it, but not this committee, and that's fine. We have a simple difference of opinion on the issue.
Well, perhaps if those people were aware of the policy that we have, which in and of itself is a protection, perhaps they would think otherwise.
May I respectfully disagree with you?
That's fine.
You're talking about the very committee is approving its own members' additional expenses, and then the second level is, well, Larry's a wonderful guy and he does a hell of a job, but what's he going to say to people who have that power over him? That's a problem.
We approve all expenses and all bills. I'm not sure who else there would be to approve those.
What I'm saying is there'd be a protective ordinance, what I suggested, and that would be the way to do it. But it's over. You all have decided not to move forward with it, and it's not going forward.
Just so we have some frame of reference here for those in the crowd, each committee member earns $76.99 per year in salary.
Actually, I think it's 7. But I think the mayor earns a little more.
The mayor does not get a penny more.
Sure.
Trust me now.
He gets not a penny
I think
more.
it's like $200 more. I concur.
Okay, so it's $76.99 a year. The $3,000 is for expenses. Anything above must be itemized. There's IRS regulations involved in that without explaining too much into detail. I can tell you unequivocally that even Mr. Friedman has taken a $55 allowance for the League of Municipalities in the past. And I'm not saying it's wrong, because I've done the same
I
thing.
didn't recall that.
You did.
Yeah, wow.
And
For granted, it's a lot.
I'm sure that he stayed somewhere on his own dime or wherever, the Motel 6 on the Pike. From a township of our size and similar budgets, Pennsauken, the mayor makes $18,076. Committee members make $16,784. More than double Voorhees, same exact form of government. That's so people in the crowd have frame of reference. I have been serious before, and some people thought I was kidding, but I was not, that the amount of time to call the mayor a quarter-time employee is as good as spitting in his face. And to call me, Harry, and Michelle quarter-time employees for everything that we do. I don't know what you do, Mike, except what I see on Facebook, and I have no demands of you, all of us, it's up to ourselves what we do, but I do know that this job has taken away from my real money-making job, and my primary business has had impact. And not only this, I diligently serve on that planning board and several other committees, I think, in this town, unless they kicked me off. But it is a slap in the face, because we do work our butts off for this town. The last 2 of the last 3 years, there was all these problems that get talked about when you post something. 2 of the last 3 years, there was no tax increase in town, and you still voted against those budgets. Now, for other reasons, and I know you can't vote all, everything yes, and you're all or nothing, and that's fine. And I do appreciate you complimenting myself and the mayor about Jake's Place on Facebook before what I considered mudslinging, which I'm very familiar with from the campaign I just went through with Michelle. I'm very aware of what mudslinging is at this point. I think this is a fishing expedition. I think this is to get a bullet point on a PowerPoint presentation that you could send out around campaign time.
I'm not running, Jason. What would I just
Your
say?
minions are running.
My minions? And who might that be?
You know who they are. They're the same people that comment on all your Facebook posts.
What a ridiculous I'm a taxpayer and a representative of the taxpayers.
Mike,
we
if
don't
you're
want
so,
to pay.
Mike,
We don't want to pay other people.
can I finish?
Let's.
Mike, can I finish?
All right.
Can I finish?
Excuse me, we will do it one at a time.
I want to finish.
Go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
All right. I didn't interrupt, Mr. Friedman. If you're so passionate about this stuff, then run for re-election. Or are you worried about what happened last time in the last elections with the Republicans around here that got blown out of office?
I'm not worried in the least. I won
I
during,
think you're
I
running
won during
scared, Mike.
2016.
Okay.
Donald Trump ran
You won
for
by
re-election. I
300
still
votes.
All right, I think the discussion is getting a
Ridiculous
little too
Okay.
political for this meeting, so.
Despite us being outnumbered 3-1.
Okay.
Anything else, Deputy Mayor?
I'm good now.
Okay.
I'll save more for the next meeting.
Mr. Freeman, you okay?
I'm good.
Okay.
Mayor, if I could just make a statement.
No.
This is
This
not.
isn't funny.
No, it's not, and this is not why we're here. We're here to serve the residents. So what I ask of you, Committeeman Freeman, is just the rest of your time here, just work with us. We all want to do good things for this community, but just have dialogue with us. Come to us and talk to us. We all have the opportunity to make a positive impact in this community. So spend your time here. Yes, educate the residents. Yes, be the watchdog that you bill yourself to be, but have a conversation with us. I invite you to still work together for the next 6 months and go out on a positive note. You don't have to do this.
I don't have to do this. I propose an ordinance so that we can stop wasting taxpayer money, and that's what it's about. It's not about doing this, and it's not about you, Michelle. It's about the issue.
I'm talking about going on Facebook and saying that the taxpayers are paying my graduate tuition when you know that's not true.
Is it not a certificate that you can then use to then go on to a better financial position or a different financial job? You can't use that?
Where's she going?
I'm in finance.
Okay.
I have my own business.
So township
And I
administrators
already
don't use
have-
that degree to go on to do a different township job?
I have an
That's
MBA
profitable.
already.
She's a
Where am I
financial
going?
But you have, the point is you have $3,000 to do it.
And I've taken other classes, 4 other ones, besides that one, that I've paid for. Having to do with the budget.
Look, at the end of the day, again, it's a fundamental disagreement on this issue.
That's absolutely fine, but what I'm asking you to do is please, just talk to me about it. You have never spoken to my face except for this moment about this. Never.
Okay. Any other comments from the public this evening?
Seeing none, move to close public portion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The public portion is closed, and we are adjourned.